Okay. So the year-end self-evaluation blueprint, which you would sit with, you've promised, I want you to ensure you start 2024 on a very powerful note, with an awakened heart, with an expectant heart, with a sense of conviction, fresh optimism, as well as a good degree of clarity. Let me tell you a secret that is not a secret. Look at this. When people come to me and they say, DDK, aha, I'm glad to hear that, Ife. And they say, DDK, I need clarity. I feel so overwhelmed and so confused. I don't know what to do with my life. I don't have a sense of purpose. I don't understand what's happening to me, and they say these things to me. I'll be like, I get you. DDK is so deep. I feel like I've been in a drought. I can't see clearly. I'll say, look, I get you. It's fine. And what they want, what they would love is for me to start to speak to them about their lives in an attempt to give them answers. Just guide me. What should I do next? I don't know what you should do next, man. I don't know too, right? You have answers on your inside that we just have to excavate. Every time that I will then say, hey, we're working on this for the next month, and there will be a number of assessments. If you can walk through them for me, I'll know what to tell you. They'll be so excited, like, yes, if I can just commit to the assessment, then she'll tell me what I should do. As they get on the assessments, the blueprints, the workbooks, answers begin to emerge naturally. What am I trying to say to you? Some of us feel like we do not have clarity in our lives, and it's just that we're clogged. We're clogged because we don't appraise. We're clogged because we don't take the time to review anything, to journal, to step back. And many of us we've been running all year long, not sort of, what's the word here? Sort of breaking high performing seasons with high recovery seasons. And when you have high performing seasons and no high recovery season, you push yourself into a burnout. And you actually sort of become very blurred in your mind. You're not able to really see clearly enough, right? If you don't appraise, you get clogged. Yes, Eziaha. So 100%, you would find that in the simple process of running your evaluations, you really start to see things clearer and brighter, and you start to find answers and insights, surprising insights coming through in the course of that whole journey. And that's the challenge I've put before you as we go on into 2023. Okay. Please, let's also share the link for the retreat itself. By the way, the summit is a first level into unpacking 2021, right? Into unpacking 2024. Forgive me. How did we get 2021? But the retreats really take us somewhere that I could never go in the summit. Okay. And if you pay for the retreat, you have access to the summit for free. So it's the better deal. And those of you who then want to get VIP one-on-one coaching sessions, let's go to Morocco. Let's go get quiet, have some good time. Also see the city, enjoy good life. And if you don't know that part of me, I'm here for the enjoyment as well. So you should be at least, if you're really young and you feel like I can't afford the retreat, get into the summit. But if you can afford the retreat and you pay for the summit, that won't even be you. Please, I don't want to say something I don't believe in. I want to be true to my conviction. If you can afford the retreat, there's no way you'll be paying for the summit. I know that, because that's not you. And I will just highlight a principle per pillar as we go along. So pillar 1 is God. Pillar 1 is God. And this is where we just really start to look at the nature of our spirituality. Now, let me say this to you, and maybe it's the key principle. I beg you, hear me on this one. It's the key principle that I would love to leave with you. I don't care where you worship. I don't even care yet if you go to church at all. I don't care, if you stream online or you physically turn up in church. I don't care if you've attended different churches this year. I don't care if you have like a spiritual father, a spiritual mother. I don't care if you consistently read your Bible or if you pray. I don't care if your faith is not in God, but in the God of your mother who prays for you, those sort of things, right? One thing I do not want you to do to yourself ever again is to use spiritual stratification to exclude yourself from a relationship with God. Don't do it again. You are allowing church culture to break the backbone of the core of your life's strategy and success. God is not merely God we pray to, God in heaven. God is actually your life strategy. You have to understand this. Do not use spiritual stratification to exclude yourself from a personal relationship. Look, what is even stressing you that you acquired because of your religious or spiritual neighbor who condemned you for not going to church? That thing that is stressing you is not stressing God. You are thinking that you're not going to church and, you're acting flirtatious with two guys in your office and you haven't paid your tithe in 8 years, and it's stressing you out because you've heard people even preach that you can never have a relationship with God with all these things. So these things are stressing you out, but they are not stressing God out. I'm telling you, hey, look, if you can take this one away today and you don't let anyone or anything, every dispensation and every culture will have its own spiritual stratification system. Men set it up so that they can feel closer to God and they can feed their ego and feel better than you, right? So, and I'm not saying you shouldn't have a relationship with God. I'm not saying you shouldn't go deep and cultivate that fire. You should. That is the whole message of my life. But I'm saying that, look, God is actually patient enough for you to engage him at the level you are now and start from there and let him do his thing. But if you feel like an outsider because, people have this prayer meeting, they attend 5 a.m. every morning, you are always too tired and always sleeping. And then people have this weekly Kingdom Community Fellowship that they go to and they're reviewing Kenneth Hagin. And when they mention Kenneth Hagin, you've never even heard of him. So you just really feel excluded from the whole thing. I promise you that some of it, we manufactured it in a conscious or unconscious spiritual stratification system. Just like there's social strata, men try to create spiritual strata. My pastor is deeper than your pastor. We go to the mountain. I pay 90% of my tithe. You pay 9%, 9 times every year. Whatever. People create all those things consciously, unconsciously. But God is your life strategy. God is your life strategy. God is your firmest, surest banker to a life of predictable success outcomes. Do not let anyone or anything exclude you. So you find questions around your relationship, around your spiritual passion, around where you really grew, specific instructions, and if you devoted your time to grow your relationship with God. And guess what? I was sharing just this weekend as well, a mystery that was shared with me in my heart around time as the currency of intimacy. Time is the currency of intimacy. Time is the currency. Time is what you spend to buy, to earn, to access intimacy. Time is the currency of intimacy. And as you go into 2024, if your relationship with God is something that is a burden and you want to do better with, let me tell you the secret. just go and reorder your calendar and set an alarm. Reorder your calendar and devote specific times of the day to spiritual activity. Guess what? It is better to do 15 minutes every day consistently than 5 hours once every week or 5 hours once every month. I'm telling you. Because consistency is the brewing port of the anointing. A life that will be powerful is brewed in consistency. So if you're keen about deepening your spirituality, if this is a part of your life that really matters and you've evaluated, you want to do better, it's about time and consistency. If you can fix that, you're going to really see a big difference in 2024. And here we are at Pillar 2 on goals. And this is where you now really start to take each part of your life and you carefully exploit, asking yourself if you set goals for this area, right? Those who didn't set goals often find this pillar a bit stressful because you're just really like, okay, what am I praising? Because I didn't exactly set any goal. But the way I also want you to look at this pillar is to generally make a list of some of the things that really meant a lot to you at the start of the year. And as you went on through 2023, what things were very important to you that you were hopeful you would achieve, and then start to look at how much of those things have come to pass in your life, right? If your goals failed or succeeded, what lessons can you draw from that? And then you look at each of these areas of your life and you start to think about the specific accomplishments that you had in each of those areas. And then you also, within this pillar, start to build big desires. The principle I want to leave with you when you are working on this particular pillar of the assessment is actually to know that it might be too early to fully set all your goals for 2024. I know that some people do it really early, right? As at October, I really start to have a very distinct picture of the next year and I start to write things down. But what I want to give you as a code that could be helpful is to spend some time this year, not setting goals, but envisioning and documenting your desires. Let's make this time really just about desires. What would I love to see, right? So we get into this pillar. It is one that is very, very, very dear to my heart. This is where you really start to observe the stretch and the shift in thinking, character, work ethics, actions, is where you start to really appraise positive transformation. Is where you begin to ask yourself, how did I become a better person, a bolder person? What character adjustments have marked my life in 2023? This one is really important. And before I ask you a specific question here, of these questions we've got in here under growth, a principle I want to leave with you as far as growth is concerned is to always not only be clear about what you want to change, but to be clear about who you would look like when you're on the other side of that growth. Many times, people approach their growth journey or their growth adventure from the point of view of these are things about me I want to work on. Let me tell you a more powerful way. Instead of saying, I want to work on, how I spend money, right? It's better to say, I want to become a judicious investor. Instead of saying, I want to work on my anger, it is better to set your gaze on, I want to grow my patience, or I want to strengthen my ability to give feedback without breaking the spirit of the other person. Instead of saying, I want to overcome oversleeping, or laziness. It's better to say, I want to practice more discipline in how I manage my mornings, right? You will draw more energy, more encouragement, and more clarity from thinking about your growth from the point of the end than thinking about your growth from the point of what you want to overcome. And it's always so easy for you to see the person you are becoming because you've languaged your desire for growth properly. That's something important. I've found it to be such a better way to approach your growth. And in every quarter, there are 3 ways. I said every quarter because you should appraise your growth in 90-day cycles. Don't leave your growth to the end of the year. Your growth is not meant to be a surprise to you, and it's not meant to be something someone else is pointing out and you're just also surprised by, right? You should be a participant of that growth process. And so 90-day appraisals are good to really see how the adjustments are looking. And within those 90-day appraisals, there are 3 ideal ways that I encourage you to pursue your growth journey. Number 1, you can use the Life Compass assessment. I believe they might be able to share a link for that with you right now, or include it as a supporting resource. Many of you know how we love the 12-part Life Compass assessment. You take that assessment, it shows you the 12 different areas of your life. We help you do a scoring of it, which, by the way, you must start your year with. Ideally, you should end your year with it, or start your year with it, and then appraise minimum of half year and end of year again, or every quarter, if you are open to that degree of radical growth, right? So now with the Life Compass assessment, after you do your scoring, you're going to find areas where you have your lower scores. When you are going on a growth adventure, you could actually begin with looking at the area where you have the lowest score. That's a bleeding area. And you can take one of those areas. You know, I'm talking about growth now, and I've given you a core principle that you have to be outcome oriented, not problem oriented. When you really want to do well with your growth, you have to be able to language it in very simple terms, right? Instead of saying, I want to be a better mother, you know, I don't want to be cranky. You can say, I want to be a mom who pays individual attention to each of my children and is present with them, present in the moment with them, you know, something like that. That's how I want you to begin to language your growth journey and your growth process. Now, and I'm saying to you now that you have to appraise your growth every 90 days if you would stay accountable, or else you're going to forget yourself, or it will just be a wish, a desire in your heart. And then guess what? When you keep a growth desire long enough in your heart without acting on it, you are going to start to experience guilt. When you experience guilt in the path of, when you associate guilt with a growth journey you have not taken, you diminish your ability to go on that journey. So you now start to hardwire that weakness into your identity. That's how people now say, that's how I am. That's who I am. Confess. Ever been there? Whether you say it out or you think about it, you know, and you now start to excuse it. You're like, nobody is perfect. Everybody has their own, you know, please, I can't, you know. And guess what? I don't want to be derailed, so let me stay on course. But that's how that happens. If you do not appraise your growth goal every 90 days, or very often, you will not take action. And if you don't take action, when the desire is sustained in your heart long enough, and you've not taken action, so nothing has changed, you start to experience guilt alongside that growth desire. After a while, you would begin to associate that weakness that you want to outgrow as an identity. That, you know, na fat, I fat. Just like Fumi has just given us this perfect example. I fat, I know key person, I know key Jesus, you know. And that makes it tougher. You now excuse yourself out of a growth that is the open door for your next level. I hope you know that growth is the currency for the next level. It's what we spend to enter who we are at the next level, because everything that is yours, but is yours according to seasons and phases of growth. It's the analogy of the how did I used to say it? Is it the analogy of the sucking child? There was something I framed in the days of doability. If anybody remembers it, share with me. The analogy of the growing child. Thank you. And it's the deal that when a child is on breast milk, it doesn't mean that, cereal is not available. When a child is on cereal and that's all they can take, and mashed potatoes, it doesn't mean that chicken isn't available. And when they get a chicken, but they cannot yet take, maybe more solid food, it doesn't mean it's not available. It's just that is what their evolution can accommodate. So there are levels of success that your evolution cannot accommodate. And it's an act of divine mercy that you don't have access to the success and the platforms that your evolution cannot accommodate, because it's recipe for disaster, right? So we have to build capacity, absolutely. So I talked about using the 12-part life compass assessment to be able to see your bleeding area, take a bleeding area and zoom in, start to look for the resources, the mentorship, pray about it, get an accountability partner and ask yourself, how will I behave when I'm on the other side? What are the outputs in behavior, right, that can be expected if I'm growing? And you now start to practice those things intentionally, right? As your mind shifts, your actions shift. A second could actually be inspiration or instruction. If you don't use your low-scoring areas, you can determine what to grow into through inspiration or instruction. If you're a spiritual person, you could come into a year, some of you are already experiencing it, as you start to pray and retreat, some things just get highlighted like, hey, don't take this nonsense with you. I'm not doing this thing with you next year. You have to outgrow this one, right? And that can be how you determine that you want to pay closer attention to that area. Number 3 is you may find patterns of resistance. Patterns of resistance mean repeated occurrences that weaken your ability to win, or repeated events in your life, your business, your career that don't match your expertise, your competence, your giftings, but continue to happen to you. Anytime you find a pattern of results that don't match your competence, your expertise, your brilliance, your giftings, your strategy, your quality of relationship, your effort, start to look at your heart posture, your character, your personality type. Turn in that direction. Patterns of resistance. Something is resisting you in spite of your brilliance, your effort, your strategy, the strength of your team. Do you get this? If something continues, if you are resisted and your success is capped, turn in the direction of character, heart posture, right? Personality type. Yeah. Pillar 4, contribution. Pillar 4, contribution. And this is where you really ask that very important question around how you contributed, how you created impact for who, how you served, partnered with others, mentored, how you gave, what gifts, endowments, skills you utilized most, your acts of service, your creative work, and what products your audience or clients found most effective, whether as an entrepreneur, career professional. I think this is such a special pillar. It's such a special pillar because many reviews don't give you an opportunity to really carefully think about your impact. And it's a space where power sits. it's a space where power sits. Modupe says, what does structure around giftings look like? That's a solid question. So structure around giftings, I will speak to it on 3 levels. First, the level of self-efficacy. Second, the level of catalytic communities. And then third, the level of courageous expressions. So on the level of self-efficacy, creating structure around your giftings is recognizing what your premium gifts are, your strongest gifts, your powerful gifts that are going to be most instrumental in being able to fulfill your purpose, your calling. As you know it now, we won't say everything at once, but the vision burning in your heart, what things have I been given, right? And not only the gifts that help you fulfill your calling, but also the gifts that help you show up in the most significant relationships in your life. What gifts do I have that make me my husband's wife in a way that stands out? What gifts do I have to mother my children? Do you understand? Because the thing about mothering or motherhood, and I don't know if you feel that way, you mothers, the thing about it is there isn't any perfect mother anywhere. You'd always read things that you feel like, oh my God, I'm not doing enough. What? Mothers are doing this with their children. Hey, God. But what I find is your children came through you because in the midst of your imperfection, if you served them and served God with some specific premium gifts God gave you, it will be enough. It will be enough. Yeah. Yeah. So it's about really knowing what your premium gifts as a mother looks like. Let's flip it from what was your greatest contribution. Let's flip it to what platform of impact have you built that you are proud of? What platform of impact have you built that you are proud of? I was talking about structure around giftings. Gosh, thank you for taking me back. So we said self-efficacy, right? We said catalytic communities and then courageous expressions. So self-efficacy is around what I said, my mentor, exactly what my mentor shared with me. It is, what are my premium gifts? And how can I create a system of consistently, not haphazardly, consistently investing in these premium gifts? I'm going to give you an example. This year, I listened to FD, Fela Durotoye. We were speaking at the same event. And of course, I've listened to him for many years and he's my mentor. I look up to him, I admire him. But I was listening to him at that event and my entire body was quaking. My mind was, it felt like the degree of light entering into my mind was going to burst. So I said to him, sir, because of my speaking gift, because of my coaching assignment, because of my destiny, it's important that I'm listening. I'm under the atmosphere of listening to you in person more often. Can I work with your EA to receive your itinerary for speaking engagement? If it's out of the country and I have the schedule and, you know, my family demands allow, I will fly myself. If it's in Nigeria or better for me, I will be there. I would sit and listen. This is me introducing an additional structure into my self-efficacy to strengthen a premium gift. Because I sat there and I was asking myself, you know, when I spoke, it was like, my God, the way you speak, the way I said, sir, please, no, please, it is the way you speak. I sat there saying, how can someone have this kind of breathtaking influence on the soul? How do they speak? How do they prepare? I want to unpack it and I want to learn. What's this thing here? Do you see? So self-efficacy is, when we talk about structure with giftings, is something like yearly immerses in my budget because DDK speaks to my gifts. Do you get? DDK speaks to my gifts. The woman I have, that I am, and the things that stand me out, every time I hear her, she sharpens that person. You create coaching as a structure where it is part of it. It's not haphazard. It's in your budget. And yes, if it sounds like I'm selling my coaching work, I'm selling. That's what I'm doing right before your presence. I'm selling it. Please buy it. I beg you, stay with us, right? So the books you are reading, the sending emails, like some of my proteges do, sending emails every quarter or every month. And I do the same for my mentors, where you're breaking down how your quarter has gone. This is what I have done. You are creating a structure around your gifts so that you can receive feedback. Because if you don't reach out to your mentor, they love you, but it's not their fault if they are not able to give you feedback. Feedback is produced by oversight. Oversight is produced by proximity. Oversight, proximity. So you are the one who creates it. This is what I'm working on. This is what I'm doing. This is what happened. You report and you project. You report, you project. You are intentionally creating a structure around your giftings so that you don't become a loner who just believes in yourself and is puffed up and you're going nowhere with nothing. You see. So self-efficacy. And then you get to catalytic communities. You are also intentionally creating a structure around your gifts. You are qualifying the caliber of environments that you are in. That's what you pay for. Some people go to Harvard because they want to create a structure around their gifts. That is a certain kind of people I want to be seeing, hearing, interacting with, having on speed dial, getting there. These are the people I want to be on their WhatsApp group. There are WhatsApp groups in this world that it's all you need to hit $1 million target in profit or revenue in a year. One WhatsApp group within it. I'm telling you, there are realms. People are living in different realms. Just take it from me. So catalytic communities, you structure yourself into communities. And you also structure yourself into radical candor. In your life, you must be able to, every season of your life, you must be able to look at the 7 closest people to you. There must be one person who can say, hello, Fumi. I just saw that picture. Please pull it down now. First. I just saw that picture. Was that okay? Let me go. I'll come back. Let me just pull it down first. Then we discuss. Or you send an email. They write back to the email that, sorry, why are you writing in all caps? Or this kind of funny font. Why did you write in this font? Sorry, I thought it was, no, it's not nice, please. You need one minimum. You need to, and you must structure yourself. If you have that kind of mentor, but you've not given them permission, you go back and give them permission. And permission is not, please, if there's anything you see, tell me. That's not how it works. They're not living for you. It is you who will be carrying matter there. That please help me review it. What do you think? Be frank. And when they give you feedback, you make that investment to go and act on it because you want to mark their hearts that you can talk to me and I will hear. Yes, I pulled down an event before because I structured myself into a spiritual leader to be able to tell me. And he said, I don't have conviction. Me, I had conviction, but I pulled it down. Yeah. I've canceled a meeting because weeks after I'd gotten permission and said, this is what I'm working on, someone came back and said, I'm not sure. And we pulled it down. We had posters with dates, gotten venue. We're not joking. You see, and you don't find it very rampant in our generation. Everybody's a lot unto themselves. Because anyway, people tell them hashtag goals. Hashtag goals. Everybody's hashtag goals. Hashtag goals. Broke accounts, small lives, pretentious relationships, going nowhere, happening nowhere. But people are telling them, press my neck, I'm your lucky, flood me. I reject it. A journey we barely started. We're already pressing necks and flooding people. Please, I come in peace. If anything I'm saying is sounding like it's you, it's not you, you're my sister, my friend. But yeah, I don't mean to shout. I'm here for you. You see, so courageous expressions. This is now the level of your career, your business. You must also create a structure around your gifting. Immerse is a structure around my gifting. I don't want to be talking among friends and they are saying you are deep. No, I want to talk with people who take action and pay me. You see, I want to create value around my gifts. So every technology we invest in, every team member we invest in, every system we create, every media we build, we are strengthening the structure around now, not only my gifts, but the gifts of every leader who is building with us. Courageous expressions, ministry, business, career. You're creating structure. That's why some people leave an organization, even though they are director West Africa. You know, that's one of the things SMEs use to hold talents down. You have 4 years experience, but you'll be director West Africa, earning 182,450. You should leave and actually go to a multinational to be an intern. And I'm not even talking money. I'm saying a time comes when you don't need to be a generalist, one big boy. You go in, right? No, you don't need to be a specialist. You are the king of something. You go in and you start from base. You now start, your eyes will now open. You now see yourself fully that I've been playing, because they'll say, please get to the fax machine. There's a note coming in. There's a debit note coming in from our German office. You now see you've never operated fax machine. Because even though you're director of West Africa, you usually go and print where opposite the complex. You don't even have printer in your office. When you want to create structure of courageous expressions for the gift you carried, you leave some environments with your career, even though you're director of West Africa. And I'm not saying don't build with small businesses. You should. We're a small business. Imagine the people listening to me. I hope they will not say, hey, DDK, no problem. But there's no director of West Africa anywhere in our own business. Even I am not director of West Africa. I'm here, little by little, coming up. Who are we? We're coming up gradually. You see. So they give us big names, big names. You now discover later on that, wow, I don't have what it takes in this industry. You are a marketing director, but you cannot create a sales funnel that converts. It's just a little thing there, and it's fine, right? It's fine. Courageous expressions. You also now need to build that system of a business, a ministry, an assignment, an organization around the gift that allows the gift to keep thriving and blossoming. And that's how you create your pathways to impact. Okay? We'll be able to take just one more after this, and it's just to get you interested to go into your review. And I hope that it's been valuable so far. So the question on number 4 is, what would you describe as one of your platforms of impact, especially in 2023, that you are so pleased about? Okay, well done. So when you get relationships, you start to really look at those closest to you, your firelighters, your firefighters as well, and how to navigate those specific relationships. And I gave you some to really focus on. Routines, which we hardly come to many times in reviews. So 100%, I want you to pay some good attention here, where you are exploring your daily, weekly, monthly routines, your habits. You're looking at patterns you have created for some important activities in your life. And you also get a chance to explore how to do better with your time management challenges. We looked at specific habits around different areas of life. At number 7, something you wouldn't really think about, but really can impact your life in a very significant way, is the experiences you had this year. The experiences you had this year. And I give you a chance through this particular pillar to appraise and unpack your most defining experiences. Did you travel? Did you lose weight? Did you learn a new language? Did you have a baby? Did you experience loss? Did you get a new job? Did you launch something? Did you get married? Did you have a separation? I'm hopeful that you have great and beautiful experiences, but sometimes uncomfortable things happen as well, and you can unpack powerful lessons from them, and then you get to look at beautiful opportunities, miracles, and memories that stand out for you. You look at some of your biggest lessons. You look at things you are so proud of that you created and birthed. And you also get a chance to look at that. Someone learned a new language. That's good. And you get a chance to also write out what you are most thankful for. At pillar number 8, you won't even expect this one, but it's so beautiful. It's so beautiful. I give you a chance to go deep into your energy and emotions. Obviously, because I coach women a lot, a very strange but interesting discovery that I made in 2022 was that in years of coaching, I know the top things I go for when a woman is in a rut or she's stuck or she's not attaining her goals or her height. I know the things I often watch out for. But in 2022, I discovered that if a woman is facing, jumbled up emotions, difficult emotions, or being unable to really articulate her emotions, they can really be a blocker to her success. We've got Funmi Ayowole here, and she's the founder of the Virtual Soul Clinic. She has, what do we call it typically? Funmi, that assessment, that appraisal, what's it called? That thing you run through. It's a really, really solid resource, a quick scan. You should get on if you put the link for us, please, you should actually just take that quick scan and it will give you a quick overview of where you are in your emotions, in your psyche, in your heart, your soul. And if there are areas of stress or distress, it will pick it out. And then you can actually jump on a call to start to, sort of get on that journey toward soul healing. It's a really phenomenal platform she's built at the Virtual Soul Clinic, and the link is out there for you to check your soul vitals. I love it. Check your vitals. It's really good stuff. We'll put it up on YouTube as well for you. Check it out. It's breathtaking. And that's why we started to explore this pillar as well, both for men and for women, to really begin to take a closer look at your energy and your emotions. And what we will add as a supporting resource to this blueprint now is actually an emotions excavation journal that I built and I deployed even in a very recent coaching adventure in Kenya, and it was so good. I will share the emotions wheel with you. You'd love it, where you really see you're able to then use the emotions wheel to highlight the top emotions you experienced in 2023, the investments you made in your mental health. And I love this question around if you really know how to charge and recharge your emotional batteries. It's important to know what works for you. And guess what? Seasons of life could change what used to work for you to not actively work for you again, in being able to recharge your emotional batteries. And then you are really able to also get a sense of the nature of strain or stress or overwhelm that you dealt with in the year, and you go on to making important commitments. At number 9, the big one on money. Big not because money is everything, but big because if you have a huge relationship with money, you can fast track your path as a visionary, right? Because the visionary life is capital intensive. That's the truth. And if you can heal your relationship with money, I think that it has an impact on a few other important things in your life. And it gives you choices, helps you negotiate better, helps you take on opportunities quicker, and even gives you expression to your gifts and creativity. So it's a good thing to master. And we have some interesting questions here around your streams of income. At the minimum in 2024, at the minimum, seek out to upgrade your streams of income to at least 5 at the minimum, right? At the minimum. Yeah. And it's not a competition, so there's no need to talk about mine. So no intention to tension anybody, but go do something great for yourself in 2024. That's fantastic. Please let me quickly mention this one. When we're talking about self-efficacy and creating structure around your gifts, whether you charge or not, people should respect. You should create time structure, time-bound structure around your gifts. People should start to respect. People should typically book for things that you do, even if you want to do it for free. Sis, I don't know if you're available to come and, okay, let's get you on my Calendly just to confirm there's a good date for that. You're structuring so that you are not at everybody's beck and call. You see, Ife Freeman teaches productivity. Follow her. Ife, please put your maybe your coaching link and then your Instagram as well. Just first follow her on Instagram so that you just set your mind up right. She is the most productive person I have met in my whole life, and I'm a very productive person. So just take that one first. She's the most productive human being I've met in my life. We call her If efficiency. For you to get it, she's the productivity queen. So if you're really struggling with time management, energy management, just get on our coaching first, I'm telling you, and see where that takes you. So yeah, see the opportunities, leverage for higher income. And of course, number 10, which is the one I will close out with, let's talk about mistakes. Let's talk about mistakes. I want to tell you why it is important to take a look at your mistakes, right? Now, your mistakes could be decisions you didn't make correctly, or decisions, it could be decisions you made wrongly, decisions you made right, but executed wrongly. It could be decisions you should have made, but you didn't make. It could also be decisions you made that you should not have made, right? It could be those sort of things that you now associate with her account is private. Look at that. All these private women who keeping things coded and special. Maybe she can share coaching link instead. I don't know. But mistakes are things that you 100% have to deal with, because they often become associated with, weakened self-perception. They introduce self-doubt. They introduce a sense of guilt or shame or regret. You want to take care of them. Now, for me, the biggest reason why you should actually take a look at your mistakes is because they often hold more insights and wisdom many times than your big wins, your accomplishments, and your successes. Yeah, I'm telling you. Yeah, we need sobering experiences to permanently knock some things into our hearts and to knock some things out of our lives. Things that if they called you and they said, Feyi, this is a pattern that you have, you can argue, but your mistakes just, there's like, hello, is it true? Is it true? Is it true? So you're just like, yeah, correct. I can see you. It's true. So your mistakes often hold more insights and powerful wisdom for you than your big wins and your successes, right? So 100%, you want to come here. Now, 3 things I would love to highlight as we close out tonight. It's been a beautiful day. 3 things I would love to leave you with before asking you the final question when it comes to mistakes. The first is not to beat yourself up as a person incapable of wise decisions because of your mistakes. Now, I need you to know this. Self-efficacy, that thing I shared with you earlier about ramping up value and becoming jam-packed with quality, that you leverage yourself as an asset, that you can actually spend yourself as an asset and recreate possibilities and opportunities in your life. And we said having self-efficacy is critical for creating predictable success outcomes. Do you remember that initial conversation? Please don't forget it. Now listen up. Self-efficacy, there are pillars in self-efficacy. By the way, in the mastermind, we've recently explored self-efficacy. Am I correct? So notice that a critical pillar in self-efficacy is the belief that you can do this thing. Remember, whether you acquired it by observing people of a similar social status doing it, and like, this thing is not, the belief, let me tell you, one of my greatest assets in life. And it's not pride. And knowing it's not pride is also an asset. And I'll explain what I mean. One of my greatest assets in life is that there's nothing I don't believe. There's nothing that is needed for me to do to become who I was born to become, to fulfill my destiny, to reach the heights that are possible for me. There's nothing that I need to do that I don't believe I can do. I might not be able to do it now, but I can do it. I just have to learn to do it. I am unable to perceive myself as incapable of doing what needs to be done to get where I was designed to get in life. I'm incapable of why will it be impossible to do it? Is it a skill we acquire it? Is it a training we'll humble ourselves, we'll learn it? Is it a grace we will pray and receive it? Like, except I don't need it for my destiny, but why? Why would I don't know. I don't understand it. Never. Right? And do you know that there are people who had this, but then they lost it because people told them they were proud. So I'm grateful that I have this sense of efficacy. And I also know it's not pride. It's not pride. It's not pride. I just know I can do it. I'm capable of doing it. You are capable of doing it. You are. You actually are. Right? Now, so why have I said all of that? One of the pillars of self-efficacy, where you now be able to leverage yourself as an asset, is the belief that you can do it. I can do what I need to do, right? Now, if you mismanage your mistakes, you will eat into the fabric of belief in yourself. Why? With mistakes, you say things like, I can never believe I was that foolish. I can't believe that, I let myself go that way. I can't believe I said that. I can't believe I trusted that much. I can't believe that I mismanaged that resource. I can't believe that I didn't listen to my intuition. I can't believe that, I didn't do my checks on that investment and I let that kind of money I can't believe it. Anyone ever been there? I can't believe I did that. I can't believe it. You see. So when you start to say, I can't believe it, no, it's not guilt. What I'm tackling here is not guilt, it's smaller. Guilt, shame, regrets are smaller. What I'm tackling is, I can't believe I did that. Weakens your perception of your strengths. It's a matter of identity. I'm telling you, a mismanagement of mistakes can take a person many steps, many miles, many years back on a journey they've been on, building who they are on the inside. How can we reframe this? I don't want to reframe it. So since you want to reframe it, you are the one who is going to reframe it for us. I'm just saying what I want to say on this matter. So let me repeat it. If you choose to reframe it, that would be great, because I want you to get in your own language. But here's my point. When we say, I can't believe that, I can't believe I did this, I can't believe I let that person take me for a fool, I can't believe I spoke so loosely and I revealed confidential information, I can't believe I missed this opportunity, I can't believe I wasted this much time in this relationship, despite all the signs that I knew was leading nowhere. I can't believe it. I can't believe I became sexually active with that person. I can't believe it. You're saying I can't believe it primarily because there's an association of strength, of chastity, of wisdom that you have of yourself that you fell from. Do you get this? So guilt, shame, and regret, fine. The bigger one is you fell from an association of strength and wisdom and chastity and sagacity. You fell from it. That's why you can't believe it. And values, exactly. So you can't believe it because you fell. You have to not mismanage your mistakes. Because if you do, you will now acquire a new belief system about yourself. That means I am not all that. That means I'm not that wise. That means I'm not that spiritual. After all these dealings with God and years of praying, saying I'll be consecrated to your will, I turned my back on obeying him. I can't believe I did that. You see, that is where the issue is. I beg you, and I release my faith and declare over you that every I can't believe I did that that you've had in your heart. And some of you have held on to this. I can't believe I did that, because you thought you needed to maintain that posture of contriteness, right? To be contrite is to acknowledge the wrong. To be contrite is not to now associate your identity with the wrong. No, it's to acknowledge that I did fall. I did fall. It's not to allocate a new sense of belief about yourself based on that mistake. I pray that you are set free from private, I can't believe I did that. I can't believe I said that. I can't believe I think this way. Some of you, it's in your thoughts, you know, the kind of thoughts that you have been plagued with of anger and resentment or lust, whatever. And you say, I can't believe this kind of things fill my heart. I pray you have a witness of who you truly are again. And you believe boldly in the goodness, the essence, the purity, the joy, the love, the values, the leadership, the courage, the sacrifice, the compassion, the power, the person that you are. And you believe again. And I actually get on this journey. You actually get on this journey of healing. Remember, healing is not merely letting go of the guilt, the shame, the regret. Healing is also reassigning to yourself an acceptance that this is who you truly are. Do you get? Healing again is being able to say, I did that, yes, but this is still who I am. My heart is full of love. I'm wise. I'm diligent. I'm sagacious. I'm courageous. I'm loving. And to start to behave your belief. That's it. You start to behave your belief again. You start to behave your belief again, right? So this would be the principle that I'm surely leaving you with today as far as mistakes are concerned, as you really look at what you could have done differently, relationships you might have mismanaged, things you did in haste or without sufficient thought or without counsel, investments without advisory or guidance. And hopefully you now move to the lessons. And what we want to close with tonight is the lessons. The lessons. What will that be for you? If you're looking at 2023 and there's something that you're like, wow, I could have done this different or better, share one lesson with me today. Say, DDK, this is something I'm taking away as far as 2023 is concerned, a lesson that will stay with me for something I can do better. Okay, write it better. Don't just say building relationships. Do you mean I want to build better relationships? What would that be? I want to read from you on YouTube as well as we close out tonight. What would that be for you? Transitioning out of relationships with sagacity. You are using my big English. Can you explain it a bit better, please? Anne says, I've decided to create healthy boundaries. Good job in my relationships from the get-go, no matter how close. Elizabeth says, I will invest in a significant effect goal. It changes everything. Enforce my boundaries better. Don't change my lifestyle in proportion to my wealth shift. Solid. Very good. I want to have increased income. I won't give up. I'll create sustainable structures till it reaches the fullness of growth. I've learned to believe in myself, no more self-doubt. I want to develop my confidence, defeat fear, and learn to speak out. I realized that I would have achieved more if I knew more. Powerful. So my major lesson is to invest in myself and give myself to the process. This touched me. I love it. I want to be accountable to my mentor, submitting to feedback and carrying out the corrections. Good job. Learn to create a better perception of me to others from the positioning of kingship, guarding and garrisoning myself and my time. I'm proud of you. Oh, these are so good. I'll keep learning, investing in myself to be a better version. Self-love is an actionable agreement with God's. Wow. What is this? Look at this definition. Self-love is actionable agreement with God's perception of me. My God. That is Fumi Ayowole, the founder of the Virtual Soul Clinic. So you should check out a quick scan. We have the link up. Please ensure you go check out your soul vitals. I want to be more accountable with my time. I want to create structure around my gifts. I want to learn to solidify structures around my premium gift. I'll language my convictions better. On YouTube, I will prioritize consistency in all things. I want to build quality friends and mentorship investments. I'll give myself to growth and be consistent with the process. Oh, wow. Learn some types of businesses are not for me. Beautiful, beautiful. This has been so good. It has been such a rich pleasure sharing this evening with you. I'm so inspired by your commitment to growth and transformation.